You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
What's going on, U.S. Cellular customers? I've got good news, so don't hit skip, at least not yet. I'm talking about their special customer event, Us Days. What is Us Days? It means exclusive offers just for their customers, just to say thanks, like $1,200 off any phone, plus $300 off any tablet. No, I didn't just misread that. They must really like you. Us Days at U.S. Cellular, exclusive offers just for you, just to say thank you. Right now, U.S. Cellular customers get $1,200 off any phone, plus $300 off any tablet. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Do you have a point of sale system you can trust, or is it a real POS? You need Shopify for retail. From accepting payments to managing inventory, Shopify POS has everything you need to sell in person. Go to shopify.com/system, all lowercase, to take your retail business to the next level today. That's shopify.com/system.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident fanalist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_data. Well, mandatory minicamp is officially here. We do have, I believe I saw that media availability will be Tuesday, Wednesday. So today and tomorrow, we should have podcasts from me to you covering whatever happened. So very excited about that. I was hoping for 3 days, at the very least 2 days. We got the 2, so I will be content with that. I'm going to cover this the way I usually do, which is just in chronological order. I'm just going to take the news as it comes, and we'll talk about it as we go. Couple things that came up. Let me get my notes up here right quick. First of all, kind of an older note that I did not get to yet, but if you're interested, Family Night is Saturday, August 3rd. So I'm sorry if you were waiting on me to announce that, and now prices are through the roof. You got to be quick with these things if you want a hotel or whatever. But if you're close, you can always just drive up. And, of course, there'll be overpriced hotels that you can probably still get, or Airbnbs or whatever. But we did do that one year. It is a fun experience. It was brutal because I had a young child who was also our hardest child, who was kind of a nightmare. But the event itself is really fantastic. And if you haven't done it, I would certainly encourage you to check it out. Additionally, and I don't know, again, this is a little bit old news. This is from June 8th, so we got a few days behind us. Ferd Turgeson on Twitter posted a Instagram from Mike Daniels where he said, Mike Daniels, from NFL player to coach, the journey has been incredible. Thank you, Packers, for granting my brother and I the opportunity to come and continue to develop our coaching skills by learning from the best. Thank you, Coach LaFleur, for being very engaging and answering all of our questions. And special thanks to Coach Hafley and Coach Rebrovich for allowing me to coach the guys up during individual period. Grateful for the opportunity to be back home and see everyone in the building, from the training staff to the equipment room to the media team to the team chefs, our local Green Bay media, and especially the strength staff. The weight room is always my favorite room in the house. Most importantly, thank you, Evan Siegel, for capturing these moments. He posted some pictures of him working. Specifically, this one picture that is posted that I'm looking at is him working with Devontae Wyatt. Now, when I first heard this news, and I think there was a general misconception from not just me, but I think other people, and that was Mike Daniels is coming back as a coach for the Green Bay Packers. I don't think that's the case. I have not heard a single thing about that since. What it sounds like to me is back during the rookie minicamps, the voluntary whatever, Mike Daniels had an opportunity to come in and coach because he's pursuing a coaching job. Now, obviously, ideally, we're going to snag Mike Daniels, but it sounds like he was just, he made a call. Look, I'd like to get into coaching. Could I come in, work with the guys, work with the coaching staff? And they probably gave him some pointers. And I'm sure, having shaken some hands and whatnot and just letting the Packers know is also a pretty strategic move in terms of, the Packers now making some calls and vetting Mike Daniels. So hopefully we'll see him reemerge, whether that's in some kind of a low-level, NFL deal, or possibly going into the college coaching ranks for a little while. But excited to see where Mike Daniels emerges. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up kind of climbing the ladder pretty quickly. And I'm hoping the Packers are keeping a very close eye on the situation. If they're not ready to offer him right now, I'm hoping that very shortly after he gets a job, assuming everything goes as planned, in other words, he seems to be doing a good job, I would like him back in the building, because I can't imagine, especially with Hafley's staff, where it's not just about the technique, which obviously Mike Daniels is quite good at. He was kind of a later round guy. He was sort of an underdog. I remember when he first got here, there was an interview, and he was like this really short guy and everything, and he always kind of obviously had that chip on his shoulder. But they talked to him about it, like, how do you think you're going to make the team? And you're a wrestler, you're a little shorter. He's first of all, that's where I learned the whole, it's actually better to be shorter because then you have leverage. But I just remember watching that and seeing he was a wrestler and really pulling for him. I liked his energy. I liked his tenacity and just kind of that angry side of him, not this very passive, like, I'm new here, I want to try to be nice. It was just kind of a screw you for asking that question, by the way. But anyways, I will dominate. I will make this roster kind of thing. He didn't say that, but I'm just saying that's kind of the vibe I was getting. Bottom line is, you have to work extra hard to overcome what Mike Daniels had to overcome to be as good as he was. So I do think coaching would make a good amount of sense for Mike Daniels. On top of that, obviously, he's going to coach in a way that is similar to what you get from guys like Campanile, for example. But again, I don't think he's still in Green Bay. That's my we'll see. Maybe there'll be some revelations to come in the near future. But it sounded like they just allowed him to kind of tag along for a couple days. Another note that popped up from about a day or so ago, there's a class action lawsuit apparently against Sunday Ticket. I don't expect the NFL to lose this lawsuit, but it is a class action lawsuit, something to do with the way that they made it so expensive. It's an antitrust lawsuit against the NFL by Sunday Ticket subscribers. Apparently it's taken a very, very long time, but we finally gotten to the point where we're kind of getting somewhere here. But the class action includes 2.45 million commercial and residential subscribers from 2012 to 2022, and they're seeking $7.1 billion in damages, potentially tripled to $21 billion under federal rules. DirecTV hosted Sunday Ticket from 94 to 2022, which is now on YouTube TV until 2029. The bottom line, first of all, apparently Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones are expected to testify in the near future, but it's kind of a good-bad thing. It sounds like if the NFL loses, that could drastically impact Sunday Ticket prices, meaning ticket reduction, which the caveman part of my brain is like, heck yeah, bro, cheaper Sunday Ticket, let's go, $50 or something. But what I tend to believe is the more smart part of my brain, maybe it's the stupid part, it's a good salesman, I don't know. I don't feel like imposing $21 billion in damages to the NFL is going to be overall beneficial to the sport that I love. What does that do to the salary cap? I mean, you got to realize that burden isn't just some corporate Manhattan NFL burden. That burden is going to be handed out to 32 teams, including the Green Bay Packers. So you can take 1/32 of that and just hand that bill to the Green Bay Packers. And that's going to mean the salary cap is actually going to go down, which means we're all screwed because the Packers are going to be paying people like Jordan Love and everybody else expecting massive jumps because of these TV deals. This is going to dwarf that. And we're going to be like in COVID hell for several years. It's also going to screw over the Packers just in terms of general revenue. So all the expanding and all the upgrades and everything else that Green Bay has been doing, that's right out the window. That's never going to happen. That's, to make up for that, how are they going to make that money? Guess what? Ticket prices go through the roof. Merchandise costs. So the bottom line is we're going to pay for it. And so are the players. It's not like, NFL, you lied and you stole, and we're going to take it out of Goodell's pocket. Like, Goodell's not paying a damn thing. You're paying for it through ticket prices. You're going to pay for it through merchandise sales. You're going to pay for it at the concession stands. You're going to pay for it watching a product in which players are not getting paid, where free agency goes straight in the crapper. Packers aren't going to have any money in free agency in forever. The NFL, like, working and having partnerships with places, like they just donated $2,500 to Grassi, and they're very generous. That ain't going to happen. Now, are they actually going to be fined $20 billion? I sure as heck hope not. But the bottom line is, as much as it would be cool for them to be like, all right, we'll reduce the prices a little bit, it ain't worth it. Not even a little bit. And then in other news, one of them is a little bit older, and I just haven't seen it anywhere. I don't know if it's just a nothing thing or what, but Aaron Rodgers, this is just from the more recent, did not show up to mandatory minicamp, so all the voluntary people can't really say much about it. It is an inexcused absence. Apparently, he went to some kind of an event. It sounds like, I think they said he's going to be gone for 2 of the days, or maybe the whole thing, I don't know. But essentially, he went to an event, and the Jets are saying that they're okay with it, because of course they are. I think the days of actually having a spine and standing up and saying, this is unacceptable, we're not going to tolerate this nonsense, those days are over. We got a baby everybody now, but Rodgers wants to go to an event, and he's going to pay for it. It's, I think in previous examples, what it's been is $15,000 is the fine for missing the first day, $31,000 for the second day, $46,000 for the third. So I suppose if you're Aaron Rodgers, you can drop $100,000 because you want to go to an event. Maybe that's not cumulative. I don't know. You can drop $50,000 for not showing up, but must be an important event, more important than what you're doing with the Jets. Bottom line, the honeymoon period is over. I saw Ian Rappaport saying something like, "Well, it's important to note that he was there for the other session." Yeah, that's sort of irrelevant. It's entirely irrelevant. It's like if you walked up and beat somebody over the head with a hammer and you're in court and your lawyer's like, "Hey, just so you know, for 36 years and 253 days, he has never hit a man with a hammer." Okay, and that's not what we're discussing today. The other thing that popped up, who is this? I don't know. Chatterbox Sports. This is from a little while ago. This is May 30th, so it's a little less than 2 weeks ago. But they put together a little compilation. I don't think they're a strictly Jets thing or whatever. They got 10,000 followers, so they're not a massive organization. But they put together a little clip of Rodgers, and they see him kind of babying his Achilles a little bit. At one point, he goes to the sideline. He kind of takes down his sock. He's kind of looking at and rubbing his Achilles, and the guy comes over and kind of tapes him up. And then they put some other clips together of him kind of running around the field, claiming that it looks like he's kind of favoring it or limping. I don't know that I necessarily see that. But anyways, I don't know. I haven't been super tied in. I do have some Jets reporters kind of mixed in with the Packers reporters on the list of people I follow because of what happened before. I haven't removed them because I still find it interesting. But the bottom line is I haven't heard anything about it before or since. But it's certainly something to keep an eye on. I mean, he did rapidly return, and it's not impossible that there could be some issues there. So also got me thinking if the unexcused event is possibly getting his ankle looked at, but I would assume they would excuse that if that was the case, so probably not. I assume it's either like an RFK event or some other kind of hippie thing. I don't know. But he really wants to go. Maybe it's a Taylor Swift concert. I'm not sure. But Saleh was asked if he'd be fined, and rather than Saleh, again, just puffing out his chest and saying, yes, we will be fining him, he says, yes, he will be subject to the union fine schedule or something. Like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. The union's going to slap him on the wrist. Bro, come on. Saleh was supposed to be some kind of a big, tough guy. He really isn't, at all. He's a smart defensive coach. I think he's just kind of a nice guy, and I think he's a little in over his head as far as being a head coach, and especially in over his head on being a head coach of such a dysfunctional organization. Because it's been, you go back to when he, threatened to take phones away from his players if they didn't say, who was leaking information. Are you serious? You're talking to grown men about, I'm going to take your phone away? What is this, your 13-year-old kid? Good Lord. Anyways, the cover, by the way, of the Madden 25 is going to be Christian McCaffrey. I saw there was a leak that it was going to be Joe Burrow. I don't know if that was a false leak, presumably, or if they were kind of torn between Joe Burrow and Christian McCaffrey, and then when they saw the leaks, they're like, nah, go back to McCaffrey. To be fair, Burrow does not make any sense. McCaffrey makes all the sense, so probably the former. But all right, let's get into the Packers notes again as they come in. We'll start off with Andy Herman. He says, at first glance, I do not see Jair Alexander doing warm-ups. Looks like he may be a no-go again today at practice. Alex Magoo and Katana Oladapo are on the exercise equipment, so they are with the rehab group today. No sign of Tucker Kraft practicing as expected. Zach Tom is doing warm-ups, but he did last week. Wouldn't expect him to practice. So kind of just going through the injuries and whatnot. Goes on to say, also not seeing Keyshawn Nixon or Xavier McKinney in warm-ups. Haven't located Jair, Kraft, Nixon, McKinney yet. Ryan Wood says, no Jair, Xavier, or Keyshawn Nixon. Each have been in Green Bay throughout off-season program and were essentially given minicamp off. Obviously, you have to wait on confirmation for that. Herman says, Emmanuel Wilson is back practicing today. Tyler Davis, Jarvion Howard, Jermon Green, and Spencer Wagee join Magoo and Oladapo with the rehab group. Schneidman does confirm that those are excused absences for Jair, Xavier, and Keyshawn. Says Nixon is here, but he's not practicing, a non-injury-related excused absence. It's kind of odd. Non-injury-related excused absence, but you're there. Herman goes on to say, looks like Tucker Kraft is out of his sling, so there's some progress there. Actually sounds like Keyshawn Nixon is helping to coach the cornerbacks, so that's kind of cool. Still don't fully understand the situation, but that's cool that he's at least trying to help out. With Xavier McKinney out with his excused absence, it looks like Javon Bullard is taking starter reps next to AJJ, Anthony Johnson Jr. Kind of wish that it was, Bullard and Williams, but that's fine. I'm sure we'll get there. Herman says, it feels like there's a ton more individual and skills training periods this year and far less team periods in both OTAs and minicamp so far. We'll see how the rest of the practice goes, but 7 periods and over an hour in and not a single team period, not even a walkthrough. Seems indicative of a team trying to really build from the ground up, lay a solid foundation, so makes sense. Still a young team, a lot of new young defensive pieces and whatnot. Schneidman says Jordan Morgan is a starting right tackle during first 11-on-11 period. Andre Dillard at left tackle with Jenkins, Myers, and Ryan inside. I always forget about Dillard that he's here. I doubt he ends up playing a substantial role, but it is something to keep in mind, I suppose, that he is here competing. Carrington, Valentine, and Bullard in with the ones for 23 and 29. Jordan Morgan opens at right tackle. As I said, that was Wes Hodkiewicz. On the defensive side, the defensive front, you've got Preston, Wyatt, Slayton, and Gary. At linebacker, you've got Edrin Wilson, Quay, and McDuffie. And then at corner, you've got Stokes and Valentine. And then at safety, AJJ and Bullard. Those are the starting number ones for defense, along with, as I said, the offensive line. First play in team period was a nice completion from Love to Dobbs. Second play, massive run by Josh Jacobs. Doesn't mean a ton in this situation, but I don't care. It gets you excited no matter what. Eric Wilson all over a swing pass to A.J. Dillon. Nice play by the veteran linebacker. He's been a consistent starter in 43 so far. We'll see if that changes in camp and if Hopper Cooper can make some inroads there. Colby Wooden with a good swim move to get in Love's face inside. Free play on a hard count by Love, followed by an easy 11-yard completion to Dobbs. The offensive line is now Walker, Jenkins, Myers, Morgan, and Dillard. Big catch over the middle from Love to Reed. Offense is feeling it so far today. Wes Hodkiewicz says Love is dialed in 5 straight completions to open team through, though Wooden likely would have had a sack. Good zip on a slant to Reed on 10's 5th and final snap. So Eversole has this kind of in order. You've got first team period, Love play action fake, rolls left, hits Dobbs for 15 yards. Next play, Love changes the play. Jacobs runs right through a huge hole for a big gain. I'd love to know if that was with Morgan at right guard. I'm just saying. Next play, Eric Wilson blows up a throwback screen to Dillon for a loss. Next play, Love hard count, draws Cox off sides, hits Dobbs for 10 yards. Then Love hits open Jaden Reed for 25-plus down the middle. Pretty darn good period for the number one offense. Herman says, Marshawn Lloyd can change direction in a hurry. It's so fun to watch, and with his smaller stature, it's often hard to locate him. He's going to be so fun in this offense, and that is one of the coolest things is when you got a guy that's 220 plus, but is, not like Dylan, no offense. Dylan's a big boy, but what is he, 6'2" or something? You get a guy that's 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", but 220 pounds. Those guys can be scary. Herman now talking about presumably the twos. Clifford completes to Malik Heath over the middle, but would have been a hospital ball in a live game. Julian Hicks with a nice run on an end around. Pratt to Heath on a run solution. Nice awareness and read from the rookie quarterback, followed by Pratt to DeBose on a nice play over the middle. I'm telling you, man, Pratt is a good quarterback. Brettel says, with no McKinney, Johnson, and Bullard starting at safety, Williams worked in after a few plays. Tell you what, why don't we take a break? We'll come back and continue ripping through some of these. We'll be right back. In the hobby, it's not easy of being a fan of ripping packs or repacks. We always hype ourselves up thinking we're going to get some kind of a mint signed Jordan Love card or something. But with zero transparency on available cards and hit rates, it's all just a shot in the dark. That is until now. Introducing slab packs from arenaclub.com, the only repack that provides real value, a complete view of all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. Now when I buy slab packs on Arena Club, I finally feel like I know what I'm getting. I don't know if you saw the video me and my son did. That was us on arenaclub.com looking for new cards for my kid. Still on our YouTube channel. You should check it out. They have an incredible website. Slab packs are way better than mystery packs. Immediately after your pulls, they put your cards safe in a vault. So whether you're buying, selling, trading, or displaying, Arena Club's got the card collection platform that you have to check out. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase by going to arenaclub.com/packdaddy. That is a crazy offer. 10% off a $400 slab pack. That's $40 right there. Anyways, that's arenaclub.com/packdaddy for 10% off your first purchase. What's going on, U.S. Cellular customers? I've got good news, so don't hit skip, at least not yet. I'm talking about their special customer event, Us Days. What is Us Days? It means exclusive offers just for their customers, just to say thanks, like $1,200 off any phone, plus $300 off any tablet. No, I didn't just misread that. They must really like you. Us Days at U.S. Cellular, exclusive offers just for you, just to say thank you. Right now, U.S. Cellular customers get $1,200 off any phone, plus $300 off any tablet. Terms apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
With threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at marines.com.
All right, picking right back up. Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary combined for a sack. Dillard over Walker at left tackle today. Jordan Morgan at right tackle. Obviously, that's been shuffled around quite a bit. Red zone drills coming up. Short completion to Dobbs for 2, 2nd and 8. Interesting play. Potential sack, I think, by Preston Smith. That's probably the one we just talked about. Let the play run. Complete to Jacobs, who makes a great move and takes it to the end zone, but they call him down. After that, Love complete to Melton on a quick out. Elton Jenkins currently at center. Brenton Cox with a fantastic pressure. Malik Heath caught in the back of the end zone, but couldn't get the second foot in. Bullard in coverage. 3rd and goal from the 4 upcoming. Love to Reed for a touchdown, who celebrates with a backflip. Dang, we got Reed doing backflips now. We're going to have dual backflips with him and Christian, and then, they're going to go out with injuries. This time beating Andre Dillard. Brenton Cox, this is on that same play, I believe, with another fantastic pressure. This time beating Andre Dillard clean, back-to-back great pressures from Brenton Cox. Obviously, Brenton Cox had a ton of hype coming into last year. Successful college guy. There was some talk about him being significantly better than where he got drafted, largely due to off-the-field things. I don't know how much of it was due to that compared to, in other words, if there were no red flags, was he first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, where would he have gone? I don't know. But either way, tons of hype about Brenton Cox, so it's really good to see him kind of emerging, especially when you have a switch from 3-4 to 4-3. It may benefit certain guys that maybe didn't necessarily fit as well as a stand-up outside linebacker. Who knows, man? You know, never want to overreact, but at the same time, sometimes these things are real, you know. Matt Schneidman says, Marshawn Lloyd has been getting some oohs and ahs from his teammates today running the ball. Man, I'm excited to watch him play. I'll tell you what, one of the other things, I obviously can't tell you videos. I guess I could try to describe them, but I've been impressed with his pass blocking. Not that he's been doing like actual pass blocking, but the drills and whatnot. He seems very strong. Like, there's one rep of him, like, you know, what you have is it's kind of a trio. So the first person comes at you, and it's a guy holding a pad, and you got to kind of like, you know, pop the guy and get him off. Then somebody throws a medicine ball at you, and you got to hit that. And then third, somebody comes up, and they're, you know, kind of doing fast feet trying to get around you, and you got to mirror them. So it's like 3 different things that you got to hit, kind of boom, boom, boom. And he's got A.J. Dillon coming. He pops A.J. Dillon, and, you know, I mean, I'm doubting these guys are coming full force, everything they got, but Dillon did like a full spin after he got popped. And he takes that medicine ball, he two-hand pops that thing, that goes out of the stadium. And then he's able to do the mirroring technique. I mean, it's just, I remember that even last week or whenever it was when they had the voluntaries, there was one where he popped that medicine ball. And I remember just everybody thinking like, holy crap. I think there was even like comments in the background that you could hear on the video of like players going, okay, dang, man. Zane Anderson picks off Sean Clifford in the red zone. That's QB3, just so we're all clear. I do like Sean Clifford, by the way, but my guy Pratt's in the building, man. I'm just saying, you're going to have to step aside, Sean. Andy Herman says, Marshawn Lloyd is seriously so effing quick. It's so impressive. Just made a sick juke in the open field. Zane Anderson followed it up with an easy pick of Sean Clifford, throw over the middle. Bad decision by Clifford. Tyron Hopper just knifed through on a blitz for a pressure, potential sack in red zone. Pratt to Swinson for a touchdown and a bootleg in red zone. Pratt off to a great start today. I mean, I'm just trying to tell you. Oh, boy. Eversol says, love just working people with the hard count these days. No question where he learned that skill. Now we got Pratt fired perfectly low for Toure. I don't know what perfectly low means, but fired perfectly low for Toure in the end zone. Oh, I see. It was an end zone thing, so it was away from defense. Perfectly low for Toure in the end zone for a touchdown. Some conversation if he caught it, but looked like he did. Perfect placement from 17. I told you. Free play on a hard count by Love, followed by an easy 11-yard completion to Dobbs. The offensive line is now Walker, Jenkins, Myers, Morgan, and Dillard. Big catch over the middle from Love to Reed. Offense is feeling it so far today. If it sounds like I'm repeating the same tweets, I promise you I'm not. That's just how it's going today. Wes Hodkowitz says, oh my gosh, Anderson gets a second pick off Clifford. DeBose couldn't bring in across the middle. Herman says that this one was behind DeBose, who adjusted for it, but tipped it up, and Anderson made a great pick. It's funny, I remember all I remember about Zane Anderson last year is I just made fun of the guy all year. And it wasn't for anything that he did wrong. It was just that he was on the injury report like the entire year. And it's like, I don't even know who this guy is. So I'd read off the injury report, and it's like, oh, and Zane Anderson. That's a big blow to all of us. Here he is coming back the next year, making a name for himself with 2 picks in the first day of mandatory minicamp. I guess I wasn't the only one. Ryan Wood says, Zane Anderson not only exists, he's having a day. Already picked off Sean Clifford across the middle of the field in red zone. Now another interception against Clifford, though this one was deflected drop off Grant DeBose. So I'm not the only one who was like, I think this guy's fake, man. Malik Heath has had a nice day, catches a sideline out from Clifford. Emmanuel Wilson with a nice run, big hole generated behind the massive duo of Kadeem Telfort and Caleb Jones. That is a big duo right there. Next play, same thing. Good blocking from Telfort, Clifford. Eric Wilson did a nice job making sure it wasn't a bigger play. Telfort, Clifford. Wes Hodkowitz with some great news, says Edrin Cooper with a heavy pressure off a weak side blitz and Banks deflects a pass at the line of scrimmage. He adds, Cooper's explosiveness is impressive, covers ground quick. Ryan Wood elaborates and says Edrin Cooper just had a blitz unblocked off the right edge and would have flattened Sean Clifford. if Clifford wasn't wearing a red jersey, impressive burst from the rookie linebacker, and a sign Packers are thinking creatively with him. Next play, another well-timed blitz from Cooper. Clifford once again did a nice job getting it out, this time complete to DeBose. Keyshawn Banks getting some time on the interior of the defensive line. Can't recall that happening before. Wes Hodkowitz says, inside linebackers have been active around the quarterback today. Eric Wilson nearly gets home on a blitz of Love, who gets the pass off and finds Wicks downfield. There have been a lot of linebacker blitzes. Eversole goes on to say, Eric Wilson's had a good day, that's all. Julian Hicks with an impressive catch on an outside throw from Clifford. A little bit of elaboration on that last play. Love puts one up deep downfield, and Tavian Wicks goes up and gets it. Bullard and Valentine in coverage. Okay throw, not great coverage. Great catch by Wicks. Love's next pass batted down at the line. Corey Ballantyne taking some slot snaps without Keyshawn Nixon. Jordan Love getting better at manipulating defenses with his eyes, looks outside all the way, and then fires over the middle to Sims for a nice pickup. Another good inside pressure by Wooden in the ones. Jordan Love to Jaden Reed deep down the field for a touchdown. Reed beat Ballantyne clean, maybe a tick underthrown, but Reed easily went up and got it for a touchdown. Wes Hodkowitz says, Jaden Reed is a cheat code, man. Love drops in a beautiful over-the-shoulder touchdown to Reed. Ballantyne had great coverage. Some discrepancies about the throw. Jordan Wood even says Jordan Love comes back and drops a dime to Jaden Reed over the shoulder in red zone. Tight coverage from Ballantyne down the left sideline, but perfect throw. Nothing Ballantyne could do about it. So Herbert, Hodkowitz, and Wood will have to fight about that one. Schneidman says, good day for the defense so far. Banks pass breakup. Wilson in the backfield a couple times. Anderson's 2 interceptions. Ford with a nice run stop. Didn't hear about that one. LaFleur didn't seem too pleased with how far back toward Love that Inigbare pushed Morgan. Then Love responded with a beautiful 22-yard lofted touchdown to Reed down the left sideline. So Inigbare, we're happy to have him back, but don't you hurt our quarterback. Also, he whooped Morgan, which makes me a little bit sad, but whatever. Herman says, I'm already impressed with how Michael Pratt manages everything as a quarterback. Not on the same page with Toure. Points at himself. Go talks to Toure after the play and dabs him up. Have seen a lot of this from him already. You can tell his leadership potential he has. He's been slinging it today, too. Listen, it's too early, but I'm going to say it anyways. He should have been a second-round pick. I liked him better than some of the first-round picks. I'm just putting it out there. Jim Nagy actually commented on this post from Andy Herman. Jim Nagy is the director of the Senior Bowl. He says, you guys stole Pratt, Andy. He is not wrong. IPP player Kenneth Odemegwu ends 3 teams with a sack. 2-minute coming up. Guessing it means third team. I don't know. Schneidman says that was his second sack of the day, which is crazy. Haven't heard Odemegwu's name in a while. All right, 2-minute drill. Down 28-21. 0 timeouts. 1 minute, 9 seconds remaining. Ball at the 50. 1st and 10. One's up first. Love complete to Dobbs on a crosser 5 yards. Clock ticks. Love throws a duck over the middle. Seems to come off his hand weird. 3rd and 5 upcoming, 48 seconds left. Incomplete. Bullard with a great coverage on Watson. Valentine on a blitz off the slot. Love fires on a crosser to Watson. Valentine with great coverage, incomplete. Couldn't tell if Watson dropped it or Valentine broke it up. Defense wins either way. Sounds like the ones were winning all day on offense, but defense won on that one. Sounds like some great play from Bullard and Valentine. Ryan Woods says Eric Stokes with a pass breakup against Christian Watson on 3rd and 5. So whether that was Stokes or Ballantyne seems to also be in dispute. Stokes would make me happier, not only for Stokes, but for Watson. Second team up next, same scenario. Clifford to Heath for 5, clock ticks. Incomplete to Merriweather. Cooper with great coverage. Ball looked more thrown away. Short completion to Heath for a first, but clock ticks. 1st down, clock ball. 34 seconds left. 2nd down. Great coverage downfield. Clifford bails the pocket and throws the ball away. 3rd down, 27 seconds left. Complete to Sims. Short. 1st down. Out of bounds. 20 seconds left. Ball at about the 29-yard line. Looked like a would-be sack for Odemegwu, but Clifford throws it away. Call it incomplete. 11 seconds left. Complete to Heath for 4 yards. Out of bounds. 9 seconds left. 3rd down. Zane Anderson with a hat trick. His 3rd pick of Clifford. My goodness. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take our 3rd and final break, and then we'll get through the last of the notes here. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
If you're an athlete, you know the greatest motivator of all is the fear of letting your teammates down. After all, a team is only as good as its weakest link. So you owe it to those wearing the same jersey as you to be your best every time you step on the field. That's why there's no vape in team. When you vape, you can expose your lungs to toxic chemicals that can damage your lungs. If you're a step behind, the team's a step behind. Brought to you by The Real Cost and the FDA.
Now's the time to save 30% on wedding jewelry, only on BlueNile.com. Make sure your wedding ring is the one, with your pick of diamond and lab-grown diamond bands, all hand-finished and graded for excellence. Or surprise her with something blue she'll love for life, like a stunning pair of sapphire earrings. Blue Nile's jewelry experts are available 24/7 to help, from fit questions to style advice. Right now, get up to 30% off at BlueNile.com. BlueNile.com.
Have you ever experienced turbulence on a flight and wondered why?
And you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
No, everything's PG.
Maybe you've sat on the tarmac for hours wondering why your plane isn't moving.
Well, we're outside here. They're saying the ramp is closed. They won't let us park because of Air Force One.
Listen in on the conversations between pilots and air traffic controllers on the Air Traffic Out of Control podcast.
510 declaring an emergency. There's smoke in the cabin. I need to make a landing right now on 31 left.
We have the most interesting, wild, and funny ATC recordings you will ever hear. Check out Air Traffic Out of Control wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Well, the goal of the defense was takeaways, and Zane Anderson is taking that to heart. 3 picks in practice today. That's pretty wild. So we got the head coach up, Matt LaFleur. First question was about the big screen. Apparently, they were using a big screen in practice that gives the coach a sort of instant replay. He says that I know some teams use that around the league. Josh Jacobs used it with the Raiders. Something we wanted to experiment with. Whether we use it in camp, we'll see. LaFleur went on to say he thinks it'll be even more beneficial during the season, giving players a chance to check reps in real time. So it sounds like that's almost like when you pull up the tablet for the quarterbacks and whatnot to kind of go back and show them. I don't know. It's interesting. Herman says the Packers have talked about utilizing a position player at kickoff instead of a kicker. They haven't gotten past just talking about it yet. So I forget what team it was. I think it was the Chiefs have talked about using a wide receiver, a corner or something to do their kickoffs, considering you're not kicking it out of the end zone or anything anymore. I would doubt that happens this year. Whether that's something they look for in the future, I don't know. I don't even know who would be able to do that. Matt LaFleur confirms Jair, Xavier, and Keyshawn Nixon were excused for mandatory minicamp. They've reached their contractual thresholds for workout bonuses. LaFleur sees this week as an extension of OTAs. Quote about Jordan Morgan, he says, mentally he has a long way to go. Praised the skill set and said they're going to continue to push him. So, obviously not the update we wanted to hear, but it is what it is. He's a brand new rookie, and we especially know how the Packers are about this stuff. You don't know what you're doing, and so we're going to try to train you up to get you to know what you're doing, and if you can't figure it out, then you're going to sit until you can figure it out. LaFleur on Carrington Valentine, that's a guy that stands out, quite frankly, in my mind. It's great to hear. Obviously, he played a big part for us last year. If he can continue to take a step, I mean, we're going to be in a pretty good situation. He goes on to say that he has a really bright future. Apparently, Valentine also bulked up for this season, so we'll see what that does for him. He went on to say Kenneth Odemegwu's, as far as his 2 sacks today, says his growth has been exponential, which makes sense. I mean, he comes in completely raw out of essentially an exchange program out of Africa. So obviously you take a completely raw, unmolded pile of clay. You would expect some pretty big growth from him, so it's good to hear. We'll see what that materializes into. LaFleur says that Zach Tom and Kraft are doing great. Both guys in a good spot per Matt LaFleur. Also said he's not overly concerned about it. Not sure what that means, but that was the quote. Matt LaFleur was asked about play calling. Apparently, he has not called any plays so far. He has called a few defensive plays. Stenavich and Jordan Love have been calling the plays so far on offense. He said he has not given up play calling. It's more of an exercise, I'm assuming, for Jordan Love, an exercise for Stenavich, maybe a little bit of an exercise for Matt LaFleur in terms of, number one, how can he be better utilized outside of play calling at this particular point in time. Also, he's been doing some defensive play calling, which I'm sure is very beneficial for him. Number one, helping him to further understand the defense. Number two, giving him a better understanding of his offense. Maybe even some bigger challenges for his offense, having a good idea of what Jordan and Stenavich want to do, making sure that they're properly stressed. As far as the locker room stuff, Jordan Love was asked about the contract. He was asked, do you have any confidence? And he said, yes. He was asked, why do you have confidence? And he said, because of what I've heard. So more signs that this is very close to being done. Whatever that means, I don't know. But I think the timeline of before training camp is certainly around the corner. I wouldn't be surprised if, look, Jordan Love is in the building now. He's probably going to hop on a plane in about 2-3 days back to California. This would not be the worst period of time to get a contract done. Unless you plan on, I'm sure you can do it via the internet or what, but you want to have him in the building. He's in the building now. So I guess that's just a thought on my part in terms of they said they want it done prior to training camp. Brian Gutekunst said, at the latest, he wants it prior to training camp. So I would think the target would be we'd like to have a deal done before he leaves. If not, we can have him sign it when he gets back, but we'll see. Anyways, it looks like that's roughly it. I'll try to dig through as these videos get posted on social media. I'll dig through those and try to find a couple extra little gems as I can. Obviously, tomorrow we have another public practice. We'll be doing the same thing again, pending any kind of issues with that. What else? Make sure you subscribe over on YouTube at Packernet Podcast. Planning on doing another Jeopardy tonight. Pretty excited to run that back. So make sure you come hang out. Otherwise, you can subscribe on the Twitters. I also posted on Facebook, so it's going to be hard to miss. Just make sure that if you subscribe, you hit the bell notification either on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, so that you get the notification that we're going live. Usually, I don't know exactly when I'm going to be able to do it with family stuff, so there's not a ton of notice. But I usually try to shoot between 6 and 7-ish. 7 seems like a good time, but I know Clayton likes to do his thing around that time, so I don't want to do a ton of overlap for my sake and for his sake. I don't want to draw away audiences. There's no point in us competing against each other if I can help it. But, sometimes it's kind of hard to find a better window. So in and around that time is when I'll be planning on doing these. So come hang out, participate. We don't have any awards at this point, but if I can think of some, I will do that. In the meantime, it's just for fun. But otherwise, you guys have a good rest of your day. I will talk to you tonight, tomorrow, whatever. Have a good one. Bye-bye.